away from the oil and gas industry, but on to another sector that is very important to the growth of Nigeria's economy. Of course, not even Nigeria, all economies, global economies across the world. Well, in a bid to build a more resilient economy that will contain external shocks while supporting growth and wealth creation in key sectors of the economy, the Central Bank of Nigeria has pledged to improve access to finance and credit for small and medium-sized enterprises. That's in 2022. Well, according to the CBN, the policy focus of the bank for 2022 is to sustain the growth and contributions of the MSMEs in the past year, whilst mobilizing investment to boost domestic productivity, enable faster growth of non-oil exports, and support employment generation activities in the country. I introduced him earlier. He is the founder of MSMEs Africa, Mr. Seye Olurotimi. He's live in the studio to talk about this. Compliments of the season. Yeah. It's good to see you.
Happy New Year, and it's good to be here again.
Thank you. Yeah, when I saw this news, naturally, I like to go this way. I called you immediately. I said,
yes, you
CBN
did.
is saying that too much money for MSMEs this 2022. So, but real, let's do an overview even before now. How has it always been with funding from the likes of Central Bank, Bank of Industry, and all of these banks? We hear of plenty of these interventions. Okay. One I won't forget is, I think there was one, is it a women intervention, was a particular time that wasn't even accessed to up to like 20-30%. Now, what is really the process? How has it been, and what are the feelers you're getting from people that you work with?
So when it comes to funding, financing, and intervention, especially from government, I want to say that CBN is the MVP, and that's the truth. CBN has actually tried a lot. I remember they were the first to respond to COVID-19.
Yes. With
MSMEs in focus. I mean, they came up with the 100 billion naira intervention, right?
Yeah.
And after that, a lot of interventions that come up. We have the 75 billion youth intervention fund. We had the payroll support scheme, guaranteed offtake scheme, all from this government. And I've seen CBN at the forefront of a lot of this. So I want to say CBN is doing a good job, but there is still a lot that can be done. There is a lot that can be done. Considering the fact that we have 41.5 million MSMEs as at 2017. So today we should be talking about 45 million.
45.
So the question is, how much of those interventions, how much is it getting, how well is it getting across to everybody, right? And when we say MSMEs, the bulk of the lump is actually the micro guys.
Yes.
And unfortunately, a lot of time, the small and medium guys get to benefit from this intervention, while the micro guys don't get to benefit so much, because the small and medium guys are probably more enlightened. They have more document to present. They have more qualification to access this. They probably have access to a lot more information. So the micro guys need to benefit a lot more, and then we need to spread the tentacle. Let these things, let it trickle down a lot more than it's been doing. But I would not start on a note of saying they are not doing something. CBN is doing well. I think government is actually doing a lot, but there is still a lot that can be done. And then we also need to start talking about monitoring and evaluation. I think we'll get to that in the course of the discussion.
Key, monitoring and evaluation. Now, let me read this to you. Only 4% of MSMEs have access to credit in Nigeria. That's not from me. It's from the Credit Bureau Association of Nigeria. That was a report last year. And these are the reasons. Lack of adequate bookkeeping. Inadequate capacity to present good business plans. Now, how well would you assess our business plans, bookkeeping among our business guys?
Yeah, that's a big issue, and I'm happy this is coming from Credit Bureau Association of Nigeria. We actually have a relationship with them. We've had to do a couple of things together to enlighten MSMEs on how to actually prepare themselves to access credit. Because a lot of time you say you can access credit, but you're not talking about the 5 C's of credit that the experts talk about. We talk about collateral, capacity, the capital itself, and then character and a couple of other things, and that makes 5. So a lot of time they don't have the capacity and the character. You have accessed a loan at some point and you have not paid it back. That's a problem. You don't even have bookkeeping. You have not kept your record, right? So I want to give you a loan. I need to see what you have done before. I need to see what profit you made last year. I want to see the trend of your performance in the last 5 years, but you don't have all of these. So it's a lot of gamble. Any loan that is given out to someone is a lot of risk. But the idea is that I want to take calculated risk. I want to see your book. I want to see your performance. But when it comes to bookkeeping, I want to say from experience working with MSMEs, a lot of them are still lagging behind. So they have not learned to separate their business from their person. So you get a credit in your business account, and the next thing you are thinking of is how to go settle down your personal bill. Yeah. So a lot of time they just mix this thing together, and it has disqualified them from accessing credit where they needed to.
Now, when we talk about letting this trickle down to the right people that need to get this funding, how do you think the likes of the financiers now, the CBNs of this world, the Bank of Industry of this world, how best do you think they can go about this? Is it's supposed to be association based? Is it supposed to be individually, individual, presentations of documentations and all of that? Or how do you think, so that it won't be like the agricultural guys that will say we have some briefcase farmers and they just come, they get these monies, they don't have farms, they don't have anything, and they get these monies from. So how do we make sure that the right people get this funding so that government will actually get the positives of all of these efforts?
Okay, so I think I will start from how we disseminate information about these opportunities. A lot of time we operate as if we are in a cult. Like there are some information about some opportunities and some interventions that
limited to some people.
People don't know. So some other people get this privileged information that shouldn't be, and they access those things. And when it's being reported, like, when did this happen? Nobody got to know about it. So the way we disseminate information for everybody should actually be more open, and it should be something that everybody along the different strata will understand. So the way you communicate to a micro guy who sells by the roadside is not the way you communicate with the guy in the office who is more enlightened. Let the information go around so that everybody gets to know this thing is for our benefit. Then apart from that, if you still want it to trickle down, you need to look at the conditions we are putting up for these people to meet. So the guy who has 20 employees and is doing 1 billion in turnover probably has a lot more exposure. He has kept his book for the last 5 years. He has some documents here and there. But the micro guy who sells meat by the roadside does not have. So we need to learn how to relax some conditions for some set of people. If you really are serious with what we're doing and want it to trickle down, let's relax some conditions. Let's ensure that information goes around and we are not hoarding it. And let's ensure a lot of fairness and accountability. Let's go through associations. Let's go through pressure groups. Let's go through the little clusters where this thing can actually get to everyone that is involved and everyone gets to benefit.
Now, talking more about challenges, tax issues are also one thing that I know that small businesses grapple with today. This people are coming to ask for this. Tomorrow, another set is coming to ask for maybe almost the same thing and all of that. How have they really coped with regards to that? Regulatory burdens and, of course, policies of government. How has that also affected?
Okay, so I was reading the Faith Foundation State of Entrepreneurship report. And part of the reasons most of the entrepreneurs gave as obstacles for their business, apart from access to finance and infrastructure, is multiple taxation. This is a serious issue. I want to be able to say this year, this is the number of taxes I'm going to be paying. I think I was reading somewhere, I think Nigeria will pay about 46 or 50 something number of taxes, and it's like the highest in the world. Why can't we consolidate a lot of these things together? Let it be clear. The way we administer tax around here makes it look like I can't do it all by myself, and then I need to get insider information, and in the process of that somebody becomes a tout who wants to interface for me, and then because of that a lot of things are not clear to these people that are paying taxes. So we need to make it clear. We need to let it be convenient for people to pay taxes, right? And also a lot of taxes are coming up now. If you are conversant, just yesterday I read that for consumers of carbonated soft drinks, you're going to be paying 10 extra naira on each bottle. And then sometimes before the end of the year, I got SMSs and emails from Zoom, from Facebook, that I'm going to be paying 7.5% on advert. So it seems government is trying to tax everything and everyone and everywhere possible.
They want to reduce borrowing. So that's what they're saying. They say you should reduce borrowing. They're trying to generate money in-house.
It's going to be a lot of costs. So overheads are really shooting up, and it's a big headache for micro, small, and medium enterprises because they don't have the shock absorber to absorb a lot of these things like the big corporates do. So it's a big problem.
you know, it's really a big problem. But MSMEs are also being advised to take advantage of technology to go digital, because this would also help at times with their financial records and all of this. How well do you, how small businesses taking advantage of going digital? One thing that I would say COVID has also taught us is to take advantage of technology. How well are they doing that? Some people might just be within their space, I beg your pardon, and they can, you know, still sell their products and let people know what they do, and they won't leave their houses.
I think when it comes to adoption of technology, it's actually getting better. I'm still going to refer back to that Fitch and Foundation's report because it's like the most recent report in that space. It was released, I think, December or November last year.
Okay.
So adoption of technology by small businesses has really gone up, and it's something we should comment. It has really gone up, but there is still a lot to do. Some people still behave like dinosaurs, right? They want to have a meeting with you and they are insisting that they want to see you face to face in the days of Zoom, in the days of virtual meetings and what have you. So entrepreneurs need to understand that there is a lot that can happen in the virtual space. If you didn't know that before, COVID has made it open and clear to everyone that you can actually use technology to drive a lot of things. So what I advise business owners to do is look at everything that you do on a daily basis, your business process, break them down and see this one, which of these can I still do manually, which one should I drive with technology. If you do that for every operation, every business process, you would actually find out that a lot of things you are doing manually, you can do them with technology, and you even save costs at the end of the day. Technology is the future, not just the future. Technology is now. If you are not adopting technology, you are just shooting yourself in the foot. You are shortchanging yourself, because that's what everybody should be doing.
We know of PEBEC that instituted, and Dr. Jumoke Oduwole there trying to manage that in the vice president's office. And we see a lot of developments when it comes to ease of doing business and all of this. You guys in the MSME space, what's your assessment of PEBEC? How well has PEBEC helped maybe to address one or two of the issues? Because I know there was a time there was a one-stop shop where they had all agencies represented and issues were being tackled immediately, and you're trying to just make it easier, business registrations and all of that. Any impact? What impact would you say that had?
I think I always say, I don't want to always start on a note of just condemning what people are doing. So the office of the vice president, where PEBEC is situated, is actually doing a lot. I mean, they've been doing a lot around MSME clinics, and then some weeks ago they opened the 4th MSME shared facility in Nigeria, which means that you have a cluster where you can access a lot of things for a particular industry. You have all the factors of production almost located in the same place. And I say that is commendable. But when you talk about ease of doing business, we move from 145 to 131, right? Yes. So the question is, out of 190, why should I even still be 131? That's the question. Why can't I be between the first 50? Then apart from that, if the indexes said I've moved, what about what is happening in the market space? The ease of doing business when you actually talk to entrepreneurs, has anything changed? Is it getting better or is it getting worse? Apart from what the figures are telling us, I think it's getting a lot. I mean, it's becoming a lot more difficult to do business in Nigeria because of multiple taxes, because of inflation, because of unemployment rate, because of forex problem, because of infrastructure, and a couple of other things. And so we need to tackle this in headlong. We need to really look at them and come to the grassroots and solve these problems for them. So it has to be something that is addressing everything right from the grassroots, not just at the national level. Let's look at the problem and tackle them headlong.
That issue of forex is what was next. I wanted to ask too, that distortion inherent in the forex market, many analysts have said that will persist in 2022. So what impact do you think it will have on business people? Of course, they've been grabbed. It's not easy to get FX anywhere. You go to the banks, documentation and all of that. Many people resort to going to the parallel market, which according to central bank does not exist. But of course, we know it really does exist. What effect do you think forex would have on businesses at this time?
Okay, so I'm not an economist, but I know that any forex problem is always bad news. Of course. For a country like ours, because we are import dependent. So a lot of raw materials that we use to manufacture, they are imported. And so there is nobody that will not feel the impact of this forex problem. Even if you are not the one manufacturing directly, the cost of everything you're buying would shoot up.
Yeah.
A lot of the things that we used to produce, even here in Nigeria, are imported. And then our taste is such that we import a lot of things because we feel like those things that are imported are superior. So the forex problem, it's a big problem that if we don't solve, it's a monster that might just swallow everybody. Because right now you find that there is a shortage of some things produced in Nigeria, like in the agricultural sector. Some farm produce are not available because these guys that used to buy outside are mopping up what we have. So maize is scarce, beans is scarce, a lot of things, cassava is scarce because the multinationals are mopping them up, right? Because they don't have enough forex to throw around to go import those things that they used to buy from outside before. So it's a lot of problem. So forex problem is what we need to tackle. If we don't tackle it, we'll always be dragged back by it. It's a big problem, and I think we should tackle it. And
we talk about backward integration, but it's not so easy to integrate that way when we don't even have some of the raw materials in Nigeria. So we can't even totally backward integrate. Almost finally, let's not forget Omicron, because when we talk, we must talk about Omicron. I've heard of Florona again.
Flu and Corona. I heard that, like, where are we going again?
So it's scary. Everyone hopes that we don't get to that point where we have lockdowns again, because that would definitely hit the economy. But can you assess the impact of any form of lockdown on small businesses, how it's been? And the past year, we know what happened in 2020.
I'm not sure we can survive another set of lockdown, another round of lockdown. I'm not sure. I'm not praying for it. I'm not sure we can survive it, because from experience, it crippled a lot of things. A lot of people have not recovered
from it.
A lot of business actually went out of operation. They are never going to come back, because this economy that we are in, a lot of people still don't know how to do things in the virtual world.
Yes.
They don't know how to drive things with technology. The woman selling fish by the roadside, how will she drive that with technology? And so she's not going to work for months. How will she survive? We have a lot of people in that bracket, in the informal sector, who don't have alternatives, right? Because sometimes we think Lagos is Nigeria. So because everybody in Lagos can cope with lockdown, we think, go to the hinterland, go to states where they don't even have access to technology. You will know that lockdown should just not happen. We are open and praying that we're able to manage this, and then we're able to put all the precautionary measures in place, and we get out of this stronger. But lockdown, I'm not praying for it. I pray it doesn't happen.
With all the reports you've seen and everything, what are your projections for 2022? For the MSME space?
Well, I'm an optimist. Everybody says that. So I believe the MSMEs are going to thrive in 2022. Because one thing about Nigerian entrepreneurs is they are a resilient set of people.
Yeah, I agree.
I've never seen those kind of people anywhere.
I agree.
Nigerian entrepreneurs are resilient, and so throw anything at them, they first move back, then they think of how to overcome it, and they become better. Right? So I see us thriving. I see us doing a lot more than we've been doing, because we are a resilient people. So that's what I see.
All right then, Mr. Seye, I must thank you. Mr. Seye Olurotimi is the founder MSME Africa there, talking to us about plans by the central bank to inject more funds, of course, into the MSME space, and a little about the challenges they face and expectations for the new year 2022. Thank you so much for your time on the show today.
Thank you very much for having me once again.